Scotty and Katie for coming out because, and, a lot of us came from out of state, and I know they greatly appreciate it, so thank you very much. As one of the best men, I could stand up here and tell you about that time Scotty and I were in New Orleans, and, those two hookers turned out to be transvestites, but that would be completely embarrassing. I've known Scotty for a long time, and he's always been there for me when I've needed him. Scotty and Katie are godparents to my firstborn child, and it's a great honor and privilege for me to stand up here. Not only as one of his best men, but as a friend of Katie. So thank you. When I first met Katie, I was down on a trip with my wife to Florida to visit Scotty, and I knew right from the beginning that Katie was not going to let Scotty get away. I mean, the rope, the tranquilizers, the shackles, the poison dots, the closed circuit, security cameras, they were all just signs for fortitude. I mean, she was a woman on a mission, and she could have got Scotty here a lot earlier if she renamed this whole thing the Ham and Cake Festival, but... Scotty, if you don't know, I knew he was going to ask David to marry him, but it was the when. For those of you who don't know Scotty, he's a thorough guy, When he said he was going to buy a new car, he did. 3 years later, he bought that car. This is a guy that he believes in the magic of gnomes. The only man I've ever known that's voted for Alvineda. And if you haven't heard, he recently wrote a book called The 101 Uses of Vaseline and How to Avoid Chafing.
But I digress.
So, it's funny that, I digress, but I thought, I was driving along the other day with some CD, and there's a song called Forever by Ben Harper. And, in the song, the word forever is thrown around, and it's kind of disregarded for. And, there's a lot of meaning behind that word. And it talks about finding a forever home, and I really think that these two, have found that forever home, and I just couldn't be happy for you guys. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with the nicer of the two stories. When I first met Katie. I'm going to stop for a while. We'll get to that in a minute. I believe I first met Katie at my daughter's christening, I want to say. And my wife and I first had the idea that Katie was the one for Scott, when we found out that Katie was helping Scott buy a gift for my daughter. So we're like, she bought baby stuff? Well, then she's definitely going to be the one. When I found out she was a teacher, that was even better for me. I was also a teacher at the time. So I was instantly like, you're already on the right track. This sounded good to me. Katie has been wonderful, so sweet, so kind, so gorgeous today.
Yay! All right!
Well, I wasn't saying that, Scott. Some people like to have this romantic, like the way they met and all that. Well, unfortunately, I'm sure he remembers, we owe it all to a burnout teacher. We owe it all to an old burnout teacher in 7th grade named Mr. Mahoney. Woo! Is he great? He'd be by the bar right now on the floor, I think. He was an interesting one. We were just in junior high. He had us cut paper together. We had roll. He was an art teacher. Enough said. there's rolls of paper, we're cutting it out, and he gave us a razor blade. Oh yeah. Back when box cutters weren't looked at so badly. And we looked at each other, and we're talking about Mr. Mahoney and how weird he is and how scary he is, and the bond began then. And truly since then, Scott has been close, another brother to me. He's been, just by seeing the wonderful people that gravitate to him, it just shows even how much more important he is, how important he's been to me in my life and things. Everyone has tough times, he's always been there. Anytime I needed him, he's always there. And I'm just really, really glad I can be here. And I love you guys both. It's been a long time, and I'm hoping to be a lot longer time. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming. I want to say that first before I go into this. I just want to say, anybody that knows Katie and I knows that sometimes we cannot be more opposite in our lives. Some days it's the only thing we have in common is that we both teach. But one thing I do have to say to her is how proud I am of her and all of her accomplishments. And that she picks such a great guy who gets on the floor with my twins and will roll around and wrestle with them and does not care how dirty he gets or how dirty they are. Will help them out, will allow the babysit while we were out running around doing wedding planning. But I love both of you guys very much, and I'm so glad you're part of